asked you guys to ask me a question on Instagram and I will answer here on YouTube. So we're just going to go through some of these questions that were really interesting. So starting off, what are you currently reading? So the book I'm reading, actually, I don't even have it. Let me go grab it. All right, so I'm currently reading Loud by Drew. She is a TikToker that I've been following for a while, and she came out with this book a few months ago, I think, and it's really about discussing the patriarchy, misogyny, and how it plays a role in our everyday lives. And then, but it's really a memoir about her life as well, which I think is really interesting because we're the same age. So I think it's really cool to see someone that's my age that has a memoir. I've been reading a lot more nonfiction, so a lot of self-help, a lot of personal growth, a lot of money books. I go through these phases in life where I want to read solely fiction or I want to read solely nonfiction. So it kind of just depends on the time of year, but right now the time of the year is nonfiction. So this is what I'm reading right now. I got it on Amazon, but I will link in the description below. Okay. How do you meet and create a village of friends in California? This is such a good question because I don't feel like I have the great answer to it. So I have been living in LA for almost 2 years now, and I honestly still don't feel like I have like a close-knit community here, but I do have friends like here and there. So people that I will occasionally like meet up with and talk to and hang out with and things. And I've never really been a person to have like a big friend group. So that's like not me at all. I'd rather have like a close 2 or 3 friends. And that's pretty much what I have now, which is great for me. Like, I think that is manageable for my time, also with my job and just like with having friendships and relationships. The way I meet most people is actually in-person interactions. Like, I'm not really like a Bumble BFF kind of girl. I don't really like meet people from online. They may follow me. There's one person I have met from online, but I've been following her for literally like 6 years. So everyone else I tend to meet in person. Like, we'll have that initial interaction in person, whether it be like at an event or at like a work event, which is like an influencer event, or a hobby that I do. So lately I've been doing a lot of tennis. I play twice a week and I've been taking lessons. And through those lessons, I've been meeting other people in the group that are also taking lessons and also live in my area. So it's been easier for me to meet people that way, although I haven't really hung out with them outside of tennis. So it really kind of depends on like your interests, but I definitely consider myself to be more of an introvert. In the last like 6 years, I'm just like more introverted than I am extroverted these days. So I don't really like to do a ton of interactions outside of what I have to do every time for work. So like, I will hang out with friends like maybe once or twice a week. Like, that's it. And it's like 1, maybe 2 other people. Like I said, I'm not like a big group kind of person. My way has really been to meet people through activities and hobbies that I do. And then similar to that is like, how do you deal with doing most things alone? I'm struggling in a new city. Oh my gosh, I get it. Well, for one thing, I really enjoy my alone time, but after a while, it's just like, okay, like I do want to like talk to another person. So I get that too. When I first moved to LA, the thing I did was I went on Eventbrite and I searched through the free activities that they had on Eventbrite, like for the upcoming weekend. So I would just scroll and see like whatever was going on, or I would put like a price limit of like $50. You know, you can like go to different activities or events. And I did meet people that way, but they weren't really like long-standing relationships. And I think it's because when you go to an event that's like hosted, you know, like once a month, like you don't really see that same person frequently. But what I have noticed that is more helpful for me, because like I said, I'm more of an introvert, it takes me like 3 or 4 interactions for me to like want to talk to you and want to like, you know, get to know you. So what I've started to do is to go to the same place. Like, let's say I go to the same coffee shop Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. and there you're going to see the same people every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. And just in like human nature, when people are familiar with your face and they're familiar with seeing you regularly, they're more likely to talk to you and more likely to like reach out and just start a conversation or whatever. So I used to go to certain coffee shops. There's a bunch of coffee shops across LA. I mean, it's LA for crying out loud, but I used to go to certain ones like every Friday, or like I will go to the farmer's market every Sunday, and like you see the same people and you kind of build a community that way, because you already know that those people have something in common because they're always there at the same time that you were already there. Then again, another way is by doing activities. So before I was playing tennis, I was also doing yoga. And I stopped doing yoga because it just wasn't competitive for me. Like, I like competition, but it's also a really great way to meet people, because if you go to a yoga class every Wednesday night at, 6 o'clock, then you're going to see the same people there every week, and you're gonna be more willing to like reach out to them and to do something with them. So the other thing is just try to be as open as possible. Like when you go to those places, like don't sit on your phone and stay on your phone the whole time, because when you're looking at your phone, nobody's gonna want to talk to you. If you have your headphones in, no one's gonna talk to you. So just like try to look open and like welcoming with like conversation. And I mean, people can be weird sometimes because like other people are also seeking that human interaction and don't really know like how to socialize these days. But like just try not to look busy, because then people are not going to talk to you. So that's another thing. Don't look busy when you go out in public, because it's like less welcoming for people to come up to you. All right, when are you hosting another masterclass? This is a good one. So if you guys don't know, I just launched my very first masterclass, which I'm just testing it out to see how it goes, to see like how it functions. I have consulted with creators before, but I don't really want to do one-on-one consulting. I really am not sure what I want to do. So I just launched this masterclass. It's going to be October 16th, and it's going to be virtual. And then you'll also have the recording option. So if you can't make it virtually, you can watch the recording up to 30 days after it takes place. So it's my first time trying this out. I don't really know what to expect. I don't know how it's going to go, but the webinar that I'm going to give, or the presentation, is going to be based off of what the participants ask for. So you're going to do like a survey beforehand, and I will create a presentation around like the answers to the survey. And then after the webinar, we'll have like a Q&A session where I'll answer any of your additional questions. I also did the first 3 people to book the masterclass would get a free private session with me to ask me whatever they want about their platform. So it's really for people who are aspiring creators or want to level up their creator journey. I have no idea what I'm going to do again. Like I said, I'm just testing it out. I don't know. It's not something that I really plan on doing regularly just because of my travel schedule. So I know I have time in October, which is why I kind of launched it right away. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. It's on my calendar. It's set. So I don't know when there's going to be a next one, or if there's even going to be a next one. But if you do want to sign up for the one that I'm hosting on October 16th, I'm going to link the sign up in the description, and you can reserve your spot there. How do you choose destinations for your trips? I've talked about this before, but like I travel on the fly these days. So I used to plan like months in advance when I was an engineer, and now there's like no reason for me to plan that far ahead in advance. So I will typically plan a trip like a week or so before. Like in the beginning of the year, I will typically like write down a list of destinations that I want to go to. And I don't really like prioritize them. I'm kind of just like, I'm going to write these down and see where it goes. It's like my form of manifestation. Like I'm going to write down these destinations and see if I go there, within the next year. If the opportunity presents itself, then I'm going to go. And typically the opportunity presents itself like a week beforehand. So that's just how I end up going on these trips and how I end up like popping up in different destinations. I tend to choose destinations that are different than the average person that you would see online. So, I mean, I will do Paris. I will do to New York. I go to like all the like major cities, but I really like to explore places where they're like less popular. If a destination like piques my interest and I haven't really seen anyone else talking about it, then I am more willing to want to go. And those are destinations that definitely make the list versus somewhere that's like really common. Yeah, I try to pick destinations that are just less heard about and that are just interesting to me. So that's really how it goes. But I don't really plan my trips that far ahead in advance. I think people think that I plan like so far in advance, and I really don't. And that leads us to the next question of 2025 travel plans. Y'all, I have no idea. I made a list at the beginning of 2024 of like where I wanted to go, and I went to a lot of those places. So I have no idea where I really want to go next. There are a few collabs I have coming up that aren't planned by me, so they're planned by brands, and I'm going to be joining them. So the first one I'm going to is Sold Out Destinations, and that's going to be in Breckenridge, Colorado. I think they have like 3 or 4 spots left, so I will put that link in the description too. That's the only ski trip I'm going on right now, like with a brand. But yeah, I don't really have that many plans for 2025. The only plans I really have are like family stuff, like weddings and like get-togethers and things, but not like for the internet type of plans. I don't really have those yet. But I will say I do like reveal the destination I'm going to on YouTube. I won't tell anybody anywhere else on any other platform where I'm going, but on YouTube, I'll be like, hey guys, I'm going here next week. So you guys get the inside scoop here on YouTube, but on Instagram, like I don't tell anybody until I've already left the destination. Okay, what was your family and friends' response to leaving engineering? I get this question a lot whenever people find out that I used to be an engineer. The thing is, when I decided officially that I was leaving and that I was going to pursue a different career path, I had already had it in my mind that I'm leaving. So it was like nothing that anybody could say could change my mind. Like I was like, I'm leaving. I don't give a shit what anybody else has to say about it. And when I told my friends, they were like, oh, well, damn, finally, girl. Like, it took you long enough. We've been waiting for this whole time. So I think like all of my friends and people that were closest to me knew how much I enjoyed content creation and how like well I was doing at it. They were like, obviously you're gonna do this. Like anyone who knew me in real life were like, oh, duh. It seems like a great fit for you. We were waiting for you to catch on to this and finally make this decision. With my parents, they were obviously not very happy because I had spent literally my entire life in school to get my doctorate in biomedical engineering. By that point, I didn't care what they thought. I was just like, listen, this is what I'm gonna do. So like, I'm moving. And the decision was already made. They were upset, but they weren't like yelling at me, screaming, angry. But even if they were, like, I still would have done it anyway. Like I still would have left. I just, it was at a point where I could not take being in the field anymore and I just had to leave. It's kind of like that meme, that TikTok sound, I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucy. Like really, that's, I gotta put me first. Because at the end of the day, you are the only person that's going to your job every single day. You are the person that has to deal with all the BS at your job every single day. Like it's not your family, it's not your friends. Like their opinions are not paying your bills, babes. They're not. So like, when I made a decision for myself, it was a done deal by that point. And I'm the type of person that like it takes me a bit to make a decision and to like truly commit to something. But once I do commit, oh, we're done. That's, don't even try to spin the block. Don't try to, no. If the decision has been made, that's it. We're not going back. So I really didn't care much what my friends and family had to say because in my mind, it was just like, I'm already doing this. The other question that I tend to get alongside of that is like, do I miss engineering? And the short answer is no. I don't miss being miserable at my job, not at all. One thing that did take a while for me to transition to, like when I went from engineering to content creation, is no longer having coworkers. So if anything, I miss having coworkers and I miss my specific coworkers because they were just like funny, cool people that we would hang out with. And you just like sit around at work and you drink coffee and you talk shit and you like, oh, how's your mom doing? Oh, how's the kids? How's the dogs? Blah, blah, blah. So I do miss that bit of a chatter, but I have replaced it with other things in my life now, so I don't miss it as much. But when I first started working for myself, that was the biggest transition of like, oh my gosh, I don't have any more coworkers. This is weird. Like, there's no one else to talk to here. I'm very happy with my decision. And I think after my parents saw how happy I was with content creation, like what I was doing, they were like, oh wow, like we haven't seen you be happy in years. So this is just like a shock to us. So after a while they came around and it was fine, but initially they were definitely not impressed. And then, okay. So how do you date abroad? This is so funny. I really just like meeting people in person. Like I do not do online dating. I don't answer anyone's slide in my DMs. I actually block anyone who tries to slide in my DMs. I think it's really annoying. So I actually prefer to date in person. And because I'm abroad all the time, it's like I've met you, so whatever. So the thing that I will do is I will normally like go to the hotel bar or go to like a bar around like the area or like a nice like establishment I will go to, and I'll just sit at the bar and chill. And I don't drink anymore, so I don't really like get drunk at all. Actually, I don't. When I did drink, I wouldn't get drunk when I was solo traveling because it just is like dangerous. But I don't drink anymore, so I would just go to the bar and sit there and like, have a mocktail, have some juice, whatever, and people will just come up and talk to you. Like it's really not difficult as long as you put yourself out there. And again, like you're not on your phone, you're not like, seemingly busy. Like when you are in a mode where you're just like comfortable and relaxed and, like welcoming to other people in conversation, people are going to come up to you and talk to you. So it's really common, honestly, for me to meet people when I'm traveling abroad. And I have gone on dates before when I was abroad and it's fine. And also there isn't any expectation of like, we're going to get married. This is long-term commitment type thing because, like I'm only in that destination for a few weeks or, for a few days, actually. I think there's less like commitment associated with it because there isn't any like serious commitment. I look at those dates as just like me going out and having fun with friends. So I don't look at it as like, this is going to be a serious commitment and like, I'm going to now be traveling back and forth from this country to see you and blah, blah, blah. It's not all that. It's I'm gonna go out for dinner and I'm gonna have fun tonight, and that's what it is. So it's typically how I do it. I have met people typically in coffee shops or at hotel bars, and that's like where I typically meet dates. And it's really easy. It's like not complicated at all. Just like don't look upset, don't look busy, and then be willing to, have conversation. And people are gonna start conversation with you. And one thing I've noticed is that conversation starters, like small talk, is different everywhere, even if people do speak English. So for example, I'm from New Jersey, but people generally talk about like the weather or let's talk about sports or something when they're like having a small talk conversation. But in LA, like on the West Coast, people will ask me like, how's your day going? Which I think is so weird. Or they'll ask like, what are you doing after this? But that's like their like small talk. It's very strange to me. But then when I go out of the country, people will say like, oh, like, where are you from? Or they'll say, like, what do you do? Or, how long are you on vacation type of thing. So just, like, engage in small talk and, again, don't look busy, don't look angry, don't look upset. And, yeah, it's really simple. Honestly, it's not, like, a serious thing. And it also isn't a serious commitment to me either. But it's just, like, going out and having fun with friends or new friends in that case. So that is the end of our questions. Thank you guys for asking the questions, and let me know if you have any more in the comments, and I will probably do another video like this where I can answer more of your questions, but I will see you in the next one. Bye.